Good morning. Welcome to Bellingham Unitarian Fellowship. I'm Reverend Paul Beckel. We come here a variety of colors, shapes, and sizes. Some of us grow in bunches. Some of us grow alone. Some of us are cupped inward. Some of us spread ourselves out wide. Some of us are old and dried and tougher than we appear. Some of us are still in bud. Some of us grow low to the ground. Some of us stretch to the sun. Some of us feel like weeds sometimes. Some of us carry seeds sometimes. Some of us are prickly sometimes. Some of us smell. All of us smell. And all of us are beautiful. I welcome today those of you who are in the sanctuary and those of you who are on Zoom. Welcome to those of you who have never been to a flower communion or never been to Buff at all. And since this is the 100th anniversary of the flower communion, welcome to those of you who have been here 100 times, and congratulations. Flower communion began at the Unitarian Church in Prague in the Czech Republic. Since then, it has been celebrated in Unitarian and Universalist congregations around the world as a way to call attention to the glories of the natural world, even in its imperfection, even as it passes through cycles of blossom, decay, death, and rebirth. So thank you for coming together today, young and old, big and small, as we celebrate natural and human diversity in our countless forms and colors in every season of our lives.
Please stand and say with me, our covenant, while Paul lights the chalice. Love is the spirit of this fellowship, and service gives it life. Celebrating our diversity and joined by a quest for truth, we work for peace and honor all creation. This is our covenant.
And will you join me now in singing our opening song, number 305 in the gray hymnal, De Colores, number 305, and we will sing it 3 verses in English and then in Spanish. the colors we see in the springtime with all of its flowers. All the colors. When the sunlight shines out through a rift in the cloud and it showers. All the colors. As a rainbow appears when a storm cloud is touched by the sun. All the colors abound for the whole world around and for everyone under the sun. All the colors, yes, the colors of people parading on bar with their banners. All the colors, yes, the colors of peasants and singers and boots and bandanas. All the colors, yes, the colors of people now taking their place in the sun. All the colors abound for the whole world around and for everyone under the sun. All the colors, yes, the black and the white and the red and the brown and the yellow. All the colors of people who smile and shake hands and say hello. All the colors, yes, the colors of people who know that their freedom is won. All the colors abound for the whole world around and for everyone under the sun. De colores se visten los campos en la primavera. De colores son los pajaritos que vienen de fuera. De colores es el arcoíris que vemos lucir. Y por eso los grandes amores de muchos colores me gustan a mí. Y por eso los grandes amores de muchos colores me gustan a mí. And I have a story that I would like to read to you over here. But you guys can listen too. I need you to hold. Will you hold that for me? Thank you. You need to be real close to me. Thanks. This is called Old Turtle. Once, long ago, and yet not so long ago, when all of the animals and the rocks and the winds and waters and trees and birds and fish and all of the beings of the world could speak and understand one another, there began an argument. It began softly at first, quiet as the first breeze that whispered, "He is a wind that will never be still." Quiet as the stone who answered, "He is a great rock that never moves." Gentle as the mountain that rumbled, God is a snowy peak high above the clouds. And the fish in the ocean that answered, God is a swimmer in the dark blue depths of the sea. No, said the star, God is a twinkling and a shining far, far away. No, replied the ant, God is a sound and a smell and a feeling who is very, very close to the ground. God, insisted the antelope, is a runner, swift and free, who loves to leap and race with the wind. She is a great tree, murmured the willow, a part of the world always growing and always giving. You are wrong, argued the island. God is separate and apart. God is like the shining far above all things, blue sky. No, he is a river who flows through the very heart of things, thundered the waterfall. She is a hunter, roared the lion. God is gentle, chirped the robin. He is powerful, growled the bear. And that argument grew louder and louder and louder until, stop! A new voice spoke. It rumbled loudly like thunder, and it whispered softly like butterfly sneezes. The voice seemed to come from, it seemed to come from Old Turtle. Old Turtle hardly ever said anything, and certainly never talked about God. But now, Old Turtle began to speak. God is indeed deep, she said to the fishes in the sea, and much higher than high, she told the mountains. He is swift and free as the wind, and still and solid as a great rock, she said to the breezes and stones. She is the life of the world, Turtle said to the willow, always close by, yet beyond the farthest twinkling light. She told the ant and the star. God is gentle and powerful, above all things and within all things. God is all that we dream of and all that we seek, said Old Turtle. All that we come from and all that we can find. Old Turtle had never said that much before. All the beings of the world were surprised and became very quiet. But Old Turtle had one more thing to say. There will soon be a new family of beings in the world, she said, and they will be strange and wonderful. They will be reminders of all that God is. They will come in many colors and shapes, with different faces and different ways of speaking. Their thoughts will soar to the stars, but their feet will walk the earth. They will possess many powers. They will be strong yet tender. A message of God to the earth, and a prayer from the earth back to God. Wow. Whoops. There we are. Look at them all. And they're coming and coming more all the time. But those people, they forgot. They forgot that they were a message of love and a prayer for the earth. And they began to argue. Those people, too, began to argue about who knew God and who did not, and where God was and was not, and whether God was or was not. And often the people misused their powers and hurt one another or killed one another. And they hurt the earth until finally, even the forests began to die. And the rivers and the oceans and the plants and the animals and the earth itself, because the people could not remember who they were or where God was. Until one day, there came a voice like the growling of thunder, but as soft as butterfly sneezes. Please stop. Now, are you thinking that it came from Old Turtle? It did not. Maybe when Old Turtle was talking before, maybe somebody was listening, and indeed they were. The voice came instead, it came from the mountain, who rumbled, Sometimes I see God swimming in the dark blue depths of the sea. Now, why would a mountain be talking about the depths of the sea? The mountain's not a fish. And then the ocean side, he is often among the snow-capped peaks, reflecting the sun. And then the stone said, I sometimes feel her breath as she blows by. And the breeze whispered, I feel her still presence as I dance among the rocks. And the star, way up there, declared, God is way down here, way close. And the island, who is so far away from everything else, the island said, God touches everything. And after a long and scary time, the people listened and began to hear. They listened to what nature was saying, and they began to hear and see God in one another and in the beauty of all of the earth. And then Old Turtle smiled, and so did God. And I don't know, it's great to have the kids stay today because we're going to be doing something very active. But if there are some that are, what's your plan? You want to say?
Hi, everyone. If you guys are more comfortable having your kids with you today, that is great. We also can take a group upstairs, so whatever you guys want to do and whatever the kids want to do, we can help out whatever you guys need. So from the general verdict, I got the idea that most kids wanted to go upstairs.
Well, why don't you guys do what you're going to do while we sing Spirit of Life, too? Okay. So, go ahead. But I'd love to have some of you stay. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all words Over the past 100 years, the flower communion has evolved into countless forms, as any good ritual does, adapting to the changing circumstances, our realities, and our concerns. Changing and adapting as so do we. In our changing, we experience both renewal and loss, transience and continuity. Transience is a central aspect of the Buddhist practice of creating a mandala, a geometric representation of the cosmos, traditionally made of colored sand, painstakingly crafted into gorgeous, elaborate patterns. This can go on for days with intense focus as the Buddhist monks drip little bits of sand into these intricate shapes. And then the process is abruptly halted and the sand swept into a bucket. It's a rude awakening, followed by a moment of restoring inner calm. Let's get a hold of ourselves. We just lost this incredibly beautiful thing we've been building, and now it's gone. Restoring that inner calm, and then bringing the sand to a nearby source of flowing water and letting it go to go into the flow of all time and space. Today we will create a floral mandala, And afterward, carry it down to Whatcom Creek, which is 4/10 of a mile down DuPont Avenue Street. I invite you to walk with me. Just go across the bridge and then turn down the stairs and go down to the creek. You can also drive and park at the post office, which is right across the bridge. And if you need accessible wheelchair or walker accessible access to the area, go down Holly Street and get in to Maritime Heritage Park from Holly Street and come up the walk. We will drop the flowers just above the waterfall, and it's really fun for kids, those who are here now, and the ones who are in their classrooms, you might want to bring them along with you because they can chase the flowers along the creek side, and it's really fun to watch. Those of you on Zoom, come on down to the park with us if you would like, but we will be keeping the camera on the entire process while we're building the mandala. And then as we fold it up, you can process with us. Jeff's going to have his phone capturing the whole thing, even as we drop the flowers in the water and watch them go. So stay on Zoom. Now, just as we have an abundance of flowers today, we have an abundance of themes to consider. Tomorrow is Juneteenth, a bittersweet celebration of the end of slavery in the United States. Bittersweet because it marks the day of the announcement that did not get to many slaves until 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. It's also Father's Day, and the summer solstice takes place this coming week on Wednesday. In each of these cases, we have occasion to consider transience and continuity. As we move from year to year, what has changed and what has stayed the same? Transience and continuity. The flowers we release will continue on in new forms, returning through to the earth in endless cycles, just as we too experience ongoing cycles of change and loss, letting go, and new realizations of our new selves each day as we find ourselves in new circumstances. In each moment, some part of us continues, and yet in each moment, we find ourselves with new surroundings, new challenges, new opportunities to walk lightly through the world, appreciating each moment. Transience and continuity may seem like opposites, and yet they're both inescapably real. This is a paradox. G.K. Chesterton described paradox as truth standing on her head to get attention. Think of continuity and transience. They are both real, but they can't just ignore them because they're too complicated. They're yelling at you, yes, we're all real. Just like the story of Old Turtle, which is so full of paradox, calling attention to the inescapable reality of nature's roaring thunder and silence, its distant majesty and intimate familiarity. And now I'm going to invite you to join me in the spirit of meditation on transience and continuity, death and rebirth, change and adaptation. Please close your eyes if you're comfortable doing so, and maybe put your feet flat on the ground and breathe in harmony with one another. To be of the earth is to know the restlessness of being a seed, the darkness of being planted, the struggle toward the light, the pain of growth into the light, the joy of bursting and bearing fruit, the love of becoming food for someone, the scattering of your seeds, the decay of the seasons, the mystery of death, and the miracle of birth. To be of the earth is to know the restlessness of being a seed. Have you known this restlessness? Do you remember what it's about? Could it be an urge to grow? An urge for your seed to become all that it has the potential to become? To be of the earth is to know the darkness of being planted. You are a restless seed. You feel the urge to grow. You've heard that it's a frightening process. And now, you are being planted. It is dark. You think about turning back, but you're a seed. You don't have that option. To be of the earth is to know the struggle toward the light. You get used to the darkness. You get comfortable with it. But the urge to grow remains. And part of you splits through your protective shell. You leave it behind now and begin to stretch upwards through the dirt with anticipation. To be of the earth is to know the pain of growth into the light. You are accustomed to the dark. You've forgotten what it's like in the sunshine. It's a shock. The shock could stop you or send you backward. But this time, the light propels you forward. You grow. You become what you always knew you could become. To be of the earth is to know the joy of bursting and bearing fruit. It happens so quickly. In the sun and the rain, you reach maturity. And in one last rapturous explosion of self, you put forth fruit. To your amazement, tiny, near copies of your infant self. To be of the earth is to know the love of becoming food for someone. Now you're through, spent, exhausted. But it's not over. You find that you have become more than yourself. You have become a part of the chain of life. You are needed by something larger than yourself. To be of the earth is to know the scattering of your seeds. A breeze or a passing animal takes your fruit, your gift, to the chain of life. And now you are gone. You can only gaze from the place of spirits as your fruit is broken and scattered about. To be of the earth is to know the decay of the seasons. Those bits that are no longer you lie waiting. You gave them as dreams to the seasons, but you were unprepared to see your dreams stepped on in the rotting leaves. To be of the earth is to know the mystery of death. From your perch in the land of spirits, your future is no longer visible. Every bit of you has been absorbed by eternity. To be of the earth is to know the miracle of birth. cycle continues. We are present again, but we are no longer ourselves. The earth is stirring once again. We made a mandala yesterday for those who wanted to, were unable to come today or generally attended on Zoom. That's the mandala we made yesterday, and of course it had to be folded up. There was somebody watching to protect it for a while, but eventually we had to fold it up. And so what you see in the center here today is what came together. It's a little bit drier, of course. There's still some color, but I think it represents all the different stages of the coming and the going. And so we're going to make more today. Thich Nhat Hanh writes, "Impermanence and selflessness are not negative aspects of life, but they are the very foundation of life on which life is built. Impermanence is the constant transformation of things. Without impermanence, there can be no life. Selflessness is the interdependent nature of all things. Without interdependence, nothing could exist." That was Thich Nhat Hanh. Today, I feel sad to note that Rick Dudley has died. Rick, who was a member of this congregation for 28 years, lived close to the earth. He was at all times tuned in to the reality that while in his life, he had purpose, but while he had so much to offer, at the same time, he knew that his every step, everything he used and threw away, his participation in a fossil fuel dependent economy, he was so conscious of these things. So everything he did, you could tell he was aware of its impact on the earth. And selflessly, he did all he could to limit that impact. He understood our interdependence as people caring for one another, as people living on a fragile planet, living in the time and space of our short lifespan. And in tribute, I'd like to sing a song of openness. The words are up here. This is a very slow, just stay seated. This is a very slow and meditative song. So you see on the underlined words, I'm gonna sing it through one time. So there's 4 long lines in each verse, and then the underlined words get replaced. So in the first verse we sing flute, and then wind, and in the second verse we sing shell and sea, etc. But just to give you an idea, I'll do flute first, and then we can start over at the beginning. Verse again together. Oh, I am a flute, I am open, open. Oh, I am a flute, I am empty, empty. So we're going to create our mandala, and I'm going to first invite the kids to go up. Maybe their parents can go with them as needed, but you can go up and you can stay as long as you want, arranging and rearranging. I don't know if they're old enough to understand the word symmetry, but I bet they get the idea of symmetry inherently. This is not going to be perfectly symmetrical, and that's perfectly okay. But they are welcome to go ahead and range and rearrange what's out there. And even as the adults come up afterward and they start placing things in different places, the adults are going to be so gracious and open and empty of expectations that just like in life, things won't stay where we put them. And it will still be beautiful. So if you've been to flower communion before or not, if you brought flowers or not, I invite you to be a part of this. Those of you who would like, the microphones are out here, and I'd invite you to say one word, seriously, one word, into the microphone of what this represents. Those of you on Zoom get extra credit. If you would type into the chat, you get a sentence. Stephanie's monitoring the chat, and she's going to read off the sentences from the Zoom people from time to time. So you don't have to speak in the microphone. You can just come up and do your own rearranging. You're all children at heart, I hope, and you get to play with them. But I do want to keep, so you can surround the whole thing, but have some awareness that the Zoom people, there's a camera angle here that we want to maintain. So it's okay to walk through here, but don't position yourself permanently between the mandala and the camera. So the kids, why don't you have the kids go forward? And here I want the kids to be as quiet as possible. I want the adults to be absolutely silent, seriously, because I want the words to be hearable, and I want to just keep this to be a sense of contemplation. The kids don't have to be absolutely silent. I know that's not going to happen. So they're the ones who get to make sound. So they can go ahead and do that. So we'll do this for several minutes. Andrea will play into our quiet. Feel free to mingle. You don't have to speak. You're welcome to speak. So come on up.
Weddings.
Love.
Color.
We need all of you.
Healing.
Newness.
Gratitude.
Community.
And if anybody wants to watch from up here, you're welcome to as well. Watch the whole thing unfold.
Peonies.
Community.
Tadpoles.
Eternity.
Anniversary.
Remembrance.
Beauty.
Bees. Harmony.
Parenthood.
Tom.
Grace.
Transformation.
Spirit.
Crab cycle.
Sharing.
Thoughtfulness.
Beginnings.
Praise.
Cycles. Hope-filled.
Looks like there's several more flowers that need to go onto the mandala.
Love to forest. Also love to forest.
And as we finish up, I invite the ushers to come around to receive your grateful generosity too.
And from me too.
So the ushers will come forward to receive the morning offering. So for our benediction, I'm going to invite a few people to the corners of the mandala. Don't pull it up yet. I'm going to invite the rest of you to circle around. We're going to circle around for freedom as our benediction. And then when we get to that last line of when we repeat for the children of our children, you guys go ahead and pull it together. So go ahead and circle around. Let's form an inner circle too, maybe a couple of inner circles. Those of you at the way back, you want to come forward and form a smaller circle. There is coffee hour downstairs for those of you who want to stay for coffee hour. Otherwise, we'll go out the front door and then slowly proceed down DuPont Street.
Right, so now see if I'm, okay, that's me. Welcome. Yeah. So, you want to come down with us? You don't have to, but yeah. Go. Let's go very slowly because people are. That's right. They're gonna be moving slowly. I almost started skipping. I had to remind myself. Yeah, don't skip while you're carrying the flowers, Mark. Hang on, I'm gonna get. Yeah. Following us? Are you
I did. I should have grabbed sunglasses. No, what? What? As good as we could expect. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Away we go.
Yeah, it's still, well, hard time for a different reason now, but it's been like the almost 4 weeks. It's hardly gets out of the house at this point. It's watching the baby all day long. So that's kind of getting to her a little bit. Oh, yeah. We're going back to work now. So, those reps. Yeah. Yeah. What work are you doing? I still am fine. Oh, yeah. Man, you can't imagine what it's like. Yeah. To do some other life. I don't respond. Yeah, all day, every day. Yeah. Otherwise, she's recovering well from the C-section. Mm-hmm. Here, let's see how we're strung out. Yeah, the miracle is we're going to stop traffic for a while. Here we're what? Mark, Robin, slow down a little bit. This is one person pets the dog and everybody needs to. Is that the?
Well, this is going out over Zoom and into the
YouTube channel. I saw that. I looked at some old services. Thank you for doing this.
it's all- it it is all part of the service, no pun intended. We'll get the service up on YouTube a little later this afternoon. Right. Hey, how you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good.
It's
This is going up on the screen in the sanctuary and out to Zoom, and because we can.
yes.
The forecast was for rain, but we cast our flower magic.
Right. No, but
Well, it's part of why I grabbed my rain hat to make sure that it wouldn't rain.
no, thank you.
I do what I can, Andrew.
I know. It's gorgeous out.
It is. If I'd taken a look out, I would have grabbed my sunglasses.
Today, Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. You're doing something with your kids.
We do something with the kids all the time, so we aren't doing
Okay.
anything special today.
Well, that's good.
The kids and I did a bunch of gardening work together yesterday. It's a delightful way to spend the afternoon.
Yeah.
The children and I were in the garden all day yesterday. So my children.
It's amazing how fast things can get done when you're not doing it alone.
James and I were assembling a piece of patio furniture, and Allie was digging in the garden, and I was helping her dig in the garden some. So,
Us for 4 or 5 days, and I put in the work. I told him I was going to put it in, and it was just amazing how much work got done and how much faster he could do the ones that just took brute force easier and faster and better than I could.
which is a statement about a difference of 60 years, and
Yeah, it was.
Didn't see that bush.
watch for low trees too.
Did you get distracted?
Oh yeah, of course. there's a tree on my street that always wants to grab my hat.
There's lots of baking bread. It's sourdough breads are a specialty from
Really? Is there a crosswalk there someplace?
There is a crosswalk. There's a yellow sign up there that
Oh, yeah, I see it.
marks the crosswalk.
We can almost use a crossing guard for this.
Yeah. Barbara and John are in the lead. Maybe they can.
It's easier to walk faster than you're used to walking slower.
Yes, slow. Yes. Yeah, Liz's normal walking speed is about 40% slower than mine. So uh-huh.
No, I mean somebody at the rear. And the rule was you couldn't be ahead of me or behind them.
Right.
It can be most uncomfortable to come down off of a mountain trail or wilderness trail and be missing somebody. Then you really have a problem.
Yes. I'm going to sneak ahead, Ron. So where are we with receipt? Keep going, Mark. I didn't get a chance to say hello to you this morning,
Hi,
Joel.
how
How
are
you
you this
doing?
morning?
I'm good. There's stuff going on. The dog wants to find it all. All right. All right. Oops, sorry. No, you're fine. So we're okay. So Paul's bringing in the stragglers. All right.
And I want to make sure you can get as they go over.
Right.
Okay. Let us know.
All right.
So the players, as they go, will bring a piece of us out into the wider field of our being. And here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, they definitely need a play.
Oh, I. Those are they're completely hung up down there. Ah, there they go. There we go. Ah.
You gotta be kidding. God, yeah, how did he get down there? He get down
There we go. So future reference, Mark. We need to let go further upstream. There we go. Something beyond the call of. There we go. Yes, now it's climbing. Now Paul's climbing back up. Well, here. No, I got it. Bravo! 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 All right. All right. Okay. Mm. It will in the fullness of time. All right. People have a choice about how they do water. All right. You still there, Zoomers? Thank you for being with us. All right. Back for coffee. Thank you all. Stop the video.